Hello, beautiful soul. Welcome to Jinjin's Cosmic if you didn't happen to be here. Perhaps it's time to meet your soul.
After 9 long years of weighing pros and cons, keeping the peace, and sometimes losing yourself for the sake of harmony, the scales are finally back in your hands. This is your moment to lift your head high, to choose truth and personal values instead of always choosing what keeps others comfortable. Have you ever felt like your life was stuck on repeat? Year after year, the same job, the same relationships, the same exhaustion. That's the cycle of number 9, and many, including Libra, have been caught in it. But now that cycle has closed. The world is moving faster than ever. Those who seize opportunities will break through. Those who hesitate risk being left behind. And 2026, World Year number 1, is the door to a brand new cycle for all of us. For Libra especially, this is the year to stand firm in your choices, trust your intuition, and dare to begin again without fear. What you need now is not to wait for the right time, but to strengthen your inner power, to step into a year of beginnings, rebirth, and decisive action. And with that, here are 10 things Libra must prepare for World Year number 1, 2026. Cleansing social bonds, restoring purity to Libra's scales. Libra is known as the Zodiac sign of relationships. You are gentle, tactful, and often the one who connects people in any group. Yet, because of this gift, you sometimes carry too many social ties, too many polite meetings, only to realize that behind all the courteous smiles, your heart feels empty. The World Year number 1 arrives as a reminder. New beginnings are reserved only for the relationships that truly nurture you. This is not the time to maintain shallow connections or to keep balancing bonds that have already lost their sincerity. A small, clear circle of people will always hold more value than a wide but hollow network. Libra often fears disappointing others, fears breaking harmony. But the truth is this: if you keep holding on to those who no longer walk in rhythm with you, you're placing the weight of that imbalance on yourself. Cleansing your relationships isn't about turning your back. It's about choosing the right to stand beside those who lift you up, not pull you down. Ask yourself, who makes me feel at peace in silence? Who truly listens, not just when they need something? Those are the ones you should carry with you into this new cycle. Your scales will only find true balance once you release the excess weight. And when your circle is refined, you'll discover something profound. You are not alone. You are supported by relationships that are fewer but deeper, smaller but unshakably strong. Redefining self-worth, placing the scales at your own heart. Libra is famous for the ability to see many sides of a situation, for the deep desire to keep peace in every relationship. Yet this very sensitivity can become a burden. You yield too easily. You sacrifice your own voice just to keep others satisfied. And after years of doing so, you may suddenly realize that you've been living inside someone else's draft version of life, not the story you were meant to write for yourself. The World Year number 1 is a wake-up call. It's time for Libra to clearly define your own core values. No more chasing the expectations of others. No more living in fear of rejection. This is the moment to choose 2 or 3 unshakable principles and set them as the pillars of all your decisions. For Libra, these values often revolve around justice, because you were born under the symbol of the scales; truthfulness, because deep down you long for purity in both word and deed; love of beauty, not only in aesthetics, but in your yearning to bring harmony and kindness into the world. Once these principles are firmly in your hands, every choice in the year ahead will become clearer. Which job fits you? Which relationships are worth keeping? Which path deserves your steps? And most importantly, you'll learn that choosing yourself is not betrayal of others. It is honoring the truth, from which stronger and more lasting bonds can grow. A Libra who lives true to their values is no longer someone who merely stands in the middle to balance. You become the scales of justice themselves, steady, wise, and irresistibly magnetic. Choosing a clear goal Libras promise to themselves. If there is one trait most characteristic of Libra, it is hesitation. You always see both sides of the issue, always weigh the pros and cons, and often choose the path that spares others the most hurt. But when you linger too long at the crossroads, your scales stop being a symbol of fairness and instead become a weight that drags you down. The world year number 1 is not a time for hesitation. This is the dawn of a new cycle, and beginnings demand decisiveness. You don't need 10 different options. You only need one choice important enough to define the road ahead. Ask yourself, in my career, what truly excites me and makes me willing to give my best every single day? Or, in love, which relationship do I want to nurture long-term instead of standing still between many paths? The answer may cost you a few other possibilities, but it is precisely that narrowing that gives you the strength to move forward. Once chosen, don't keep looking back. Treat your goal as a promise, a vow you sign with yourself in the new year. Set clear milestones, track your progress week by week, and allow yourself to remain steadfast even when storms arrive. A Libra who dares to decide is no longer the hesitant figure caught in between, but the one who holds the scales with a steady hand. And that decisiveness will open for you the greatest doorway of 2026, a path illuminated, where your heart and your mind finally speak in unison. Practicing discipline in decisions, the steady hand that holds Libra's scales. For Libra, making decisions has never been easy. You see every angle, weigh everyone's feelings, and fear that one wrong move could disrupt the delicate balance of your scales. But the truth is this: hesitation is the chain that has caused you to miss many precious opportunities. The world year number 1 teaches you an essential lesson. Making decisions quickly does not mean being reckless. It is a form of discipline. Discipline is knowing when to stop overthinking and when to trust your own choice. Start with small principles. Set time limits for thinking. Give yourself 24 hours to decide on big matters and only 5 minutes for small ones. Write down your reasons. Once you choose, record why you made that choice. This keeps you steady when doubts return. Build the habit of responsibility. If the result isn't ideal, don't linger in self-blame. Treat it as data for adjustment, not an excuse to stall. When you practice discipline in decision-making, you are no longer the scale swaying endlessly in the wind. You become the scale of justice anchored firmly on stone. Your choices carry weight, and more importantly, they free you from the exhausting loop of knowing, thinking, hesitating. Decisiveness does not strip Libra of your sensitivity. It simply makes you stronger, clearer, and more respected. And with discipline guiding your decisions, you'll step into the new path of 2026 with lightness of heart. I have chosen, and I will see it through to the end. Rebalancing finances a steady foundation for Libra's new beginning. Libra is born with an artistic eye and a deep love for beauty. You may gladly spend on an elegant outfit, a luxurious gathering, or a spontaneous trip just to feel something new. These experiences nourish your soul, but at times, they also tip your financial scales out of balance. The world year number 1 reminds you, every new beginning needs a solid foundation. If your finances rely only on luck or inspiration, you may find yourself shaken when the first challenges of the cycle arrive. This is the moment for Libra to use your refinement not just to choose beauty, but to design a life of balance and sustainability. Begin with a few practical steps. Track your spending. Record every expense for a month to see what truly nourishes you and what only drains you. Prioritize the essentials. Set aside budget for health, education, and career before indulging in luxuries. Build a safety net, at least 6 months of living costs, so you feel secure as you try new directions. Invest with intention. Dedicate part of your income to learning new skills or starting a small personal project. This both enriches your experience and builds your future. Libra, you don't need to abandon beauty to achieve financial stability. On the contrary, let money become your ally so you can savor beauty freely and without guilt. Once your financial scales are balanced, you'll stand on firm ground to step into 2026, a year of beginnings, rebirth, and wise choices. Caring for body, mind, spirit, keeping Libra's scales in rhythm. Libra is symbolized by the scales, and nowhere is this image more clearly reflected than in your inner life. Even a small ripple from the outside, a careless word, a shift in a relationship, or the pressure of work can tilt your balance. And when that balance is lost, Libra often seeks to please others instead of turning inward to care for yourself. The world year number 1 will bring both challenges and opportunities, but its pace will be faster and its waves stronger. Without inner stability, you may easily be swept away, forgetting your true center. That's why caring for body, mind, and spirit is not just good advice. It is the lifeline that helps Libra maintain your rhythm. Body. Maintain a simple, regular practice of movement. It doesn't need to be extreme. Just a 20-minute walk, light yoga, or even dancing. Anything that lets your body relax and your energy flow. Mind. Practice 10-15 minutes of daily meditation. This pause allows you to observe and accept your emotions, rather than being ruled by outside worries and turbulence. Spirit. Nourish it with art. Read a book, listen to music, or paint. For Libra, beauty is more than something to admire. It is a therapy that clears and refreshes the mind. Treat self-care as a daily ritual so that each morning your inner scales are gently recalibrated. A Libra who keeps the body strong, the mind calm, and the spirit clear is no longer fragile, but becomes a steady anchor of balance for those around you. Because only when you are at peace can you truly bring harmony and fairness to the world. Nurturing art and creativity when beauty becomes Libra's strength. If Aquarius pioneers with ideas, Libra builds with beauty. From the way you dress, arrange a space, or hold a conversation, you radiate harmony that makes others feel at ease. Yet too often, you stop at appreciating and sensing, without turning this aesthetic gift into something tangible for your life. The world year number 1 is your chance to change that. This is the year of beginnings, and the beauty you carry within can absolutely become a product, a project, or a vocation. If you love art, try turning your sketches, music, or writing into works to be shared widely. If you love fashion and aesthetics, start with a blog, a personal channel, or a small project that reflects your unique taste. If you love justice and social harmony, consider creating a community initiative where your refined eye brings balance to the collective. What matters is not whether the project is large or small. It matters that it is real. A single finished piece carries more value than 100 ideas left in your mind. And for Libra, bringing beauty from within into the outer world is also a way of affirming your own worth. Remember this: beauty is not only to be admired, but to be created. When you dare to place your innate sense of aesthetics into action, you discover that you are not just a lover of beauty, you are its maker. And that is Libra's unique mark in 2026. Building lasting partnerships, Libra's steady hand in union. Libra is the zodiac sign of relationships. You were not born to live in isolation, but to shine and be illuminated through connection. In truth, you often find yourself reflected in the eyes and mirrors of others. Yet the paradox is that you have also been worn down by shallow ties, where you gave far more than you ever received. The world year number 1 invites you to choose again who walks beside you. This is no longer the time for half-hearted bonds, but the time to seek a true companion, a partner, or a life ally who shares your vision. In work, choose not only intelligence but also fairness and responsibility. A good collaborator helps you make decisions quickly and keeps your values intact. In love, look for someone with whom you can share dreams, not just fleeting joys. This must be a person who respects boundaries and encourages you to grow into your best self. In everyday life, cultivate a small circle of 2 or 3 people you trust completely. They will steady you when you falter, just as you will for them. Libra cherishes harmony, and the deepest harmony arises only when 2 people face the same direction. That's why, in 2026, your priority must shift from quantity to quality. One hand firmly clasped in yours on the long road is worth more than 10 passing promises. With lasting partners by your side, your scales will not only stay balanced, they will have the strength to lift your entire journey higher. Learning to face conflict, Libra's true strength. Libra carries within a deep longing for peace and harmony. You dislike tension, avoid raised voices, and often choose silence to keep the atmosphere calm. Yet this avoidance comes at a cost: blurred boundaries, suppressed emotions, and scales that tip entirely toward others. The world year number 1 begins as a forceful new chapter, and it asks you to learn a vital lesson. Facing conflict does not strip you of grace. On the contrary, it makes you more authentic and resilient. For Libra, saying no has never been easy. But remember, a clear no today can save you from 10 wounds tomorrow. Protecting your boundaries is how you honor yourself, and once you respect yourself, others will have no choice but to respect you too. Start with small steps. When a request leaves you exhausted, say plainly, "I'm sorry, I can't take on more." When a relationship becomes pure exploitation, be brave enough to close the door. When work violates your values, speak up instead of swallowing it down. Libra doesn't need to become combative, but know this: justice cannot exist if you always take the loss. Facing conflict is how your scales straighten, instead of leaning toward whatever pleases others. In 2026, Libra's true strength will not be found in keeping everything quiet, but in defending your truth and your boundaries, even if it stirs waves. Because only after the storm will you finally see the clear blue sky you have always longed for. Trusting yourself and your inner voice, Libra's decisive step. Throughout your journey, Libra, you have often looked around, listened to every side, and only then taken a step. You feared disappointing someone, feared tipping the scales too far in one direction. But the year 2026, the dawn of a new cycle, does not ask you to please everyone. It asks you to choose yourself. The greatest decision you face is not about which job to take, which relationship to keep, or which path to follow. The true question is, do I trust myself? Because once you place faith in your intuition, every choice becomes lighter, and the scales within you naturally return to balance. Take a moment of silence each day, just to listen to your inner voice. It may come as a fleeting hunch, an unexplainable urge, or simply a feeling of rightness that needs no proof. For Libra, intuition is the lantern in the dark, a light that has never gone out, though sometimes you're too busy looking outward to remember to look within. When you truly believe in yourself, you no longer need constant validation from others. And it's in that moment that your steps become lighter, your confidence steadier, your path stronger. In world year number 1, new beginnings won't just come from what you do. They'll come from the way you dare to affirm, "I am worthy, I am enough, and I choose to trust myself." 2026 opens not only a new cycle, but also an opportunity for Libra to live in full honesty with who they are. Dare to place yourself on the scale, choosing personal values over mere safety. When you trust your intuition and make bold, decisive choices, the scales will naturally find their balance. The question is, are you ready to choose yourself in this year of new beginnings?